Hi there, beautiful bakers. Welcome back to Grace and Bakes. In today's video, we'll be making some melt in your mouth biscuits. So these are easy 3-ingredient biscuits. You don't need a lot to do them and they don't require a lot of effort. And you can sort of freestyle with this type of biscuits. You can add filling, you can decorate with icing, or you can just eat them as is. It doesn't really matter because either way they'll still be delicious. So I really hope you enjoy the video. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you at the end. So I'll be making 2 batches of these biscuits. I have chocolate and I have vanilla. So for our ingredients, I'll be using 3 cups each of flour, 1.5 cups of icing, and 250 grams of margarine, and just a teaspoon of vanilla essence. So for my chocolate icing, I mixed 1 cup of icing sugar with 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So I just added my margarine into a bowl, and I'm just going to soften that. At this point I realized that I forgot to split my margarine, because remember, it's 2 different batches of biscuits. So I'm just going to cut it right down the middle, so I have 250 grams, and then I'll put the other half aside for the second batch. And there we go. Now that was sorted, you can continue softening your margarine, and once it's soft, then you add your 1.5 cup of icing sugar, and you just mix that. Try to get rid of as much lumps and bumps as possible. With me, you'll see in the final product video, right? I don't think I beat it enough, so there are a little bit of lumps in my biscuits of icing sugar, but I didn't mind at all, because it actually made the biscuits a little bit nicer, added a little bit of texture. But if you'd like them smooth, then please try to get rid of as much lumps and bumps as possible. So another pro tip is that you sift your icing sugar before adding it, so that it's not lumpy. Now I'm going to add in my teaspoon or cupful of vanilla essence. It's actually the same as a teaspoon, and I'm just going to mix it again. And this is what my mixture looked like after I was done. So now I'm going to add my flour. When it comes to flour, right, you want to do it a little bit at a time. You don't add it all in at once. This is just so that it's easier to mix. So remember, I put my 6 cups together, so I'm just going to take 3 cups. The pink cup I'm holding is half a cup, so I'll be using 6 of these. So I started with 2 halves, which was 1 cup, and I'm just going to mix that. And as soon as it's combined, you're going to add in maybe another half or a cup until you use up your 3 cups. I would actually recommend that you use a wooden spoon. You see the one that you use to cook pap? Nkombe wa vuswa in Tsonga. Yeah, please use that, because with my whisk, the dough was getting a little bit too heavy. So it got a bit difficult to mix. However, I still managed, and this is what my dough looked like. This was after I added all my 3 cups, and this is what the dough looked like. So it's going to be buttery when you touch it. It's going to be soft. It will be smooth, and it won't hold together very well. So it is going to break apart. That's how you know that you got it right. It shouldn't be hard at all. It shouldn't be stiff. So Miguel didn't have cling wrap, which is the ideal thing to use. So you know me and compromising, I got 2 clean sheets of plastic that I cut into squares. You can do that as well. You can use plastic. That just make sure to clean it before you use it, because we don't want to use anything that's dirty. So I just cut that and then put my dough there, and now I'm going to roll it to either a circle or a square or whatever shape you want your biscuits to be, just like I'm doing. This is easier for me because after this I freeze and cut it. However, if you prefer using a cookie cutter, then you can just roll it, flour your surface, put your dough, roll it, cut out your shapes, and you can use that. This is sort of like a hack that I learned, and it's very easy, so I decided to go with it. So as soon as you've got the shape you want, just make sure that all the sides are equal so that it looks nice when you bake your biscuits. And then you're just going to cover it in that plastic. Make sure that it's fully covered, the sides are closed as well. And then you put that in the freezer for about 30 minutes to an hour, or until it's almost frozen, like hard to the touch. And then that's when you can take it out and bake it. So I did this with my first batch of biscuits. Right now I'm going to make my second batch and repeat the same process. And here we go. This is after I took them out of the freezer. They were in there for about 45 minutes. So I'm going to unroll my plastic now, see how my dough came out, and it looks pretty good. It doesn't look bad at all. So what you're going to do is you're going to slice it into thin slices. Remember that we didn't add baking powder for this recipe, so your dough will not rise. Don't make them too thin, don't make them too thick. Just make them about the size you'd want your biscuits to be, because the shape and the size will not change much in the oven. So these are mine. They're about 1 centimeter or less than a centimeter thick, maybe about half a centimeter. So I just sliced all of them like that, and I'm going to line them on my baking trays. So when you're lining your biscuits, you don't have to leave that much space in between. Remember, like I said, they won't raise much in the oven, so my space was a little too big, and with my second batch of biscuits they didn't quite fit, so I did make it smaller at the end, as you'll see in a while when I show you the final picture. And my biscuits are ready for baking. As you can see, I did make the spaces smaller. You see the way they're going in, they'll come out like that. Don't be shocked when you don't see any growth. It's the way it's meant to be. So I'm going to bake my biscuits at 170 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes. Another indication that you can use other than time is the color. When they are golden brown, this is the vanilla ones, when they are golden brown, then you know that they're done. And also you can use a fork. I'll show you how to do this, and just to test if the middle is cooked well or not. And this is how they came out. Remember, in the beginning of the video I did let you know that I didn't mix my icing sugar properly in, and I didn't sift it, so that's why you see those white spots in the middle of my biscuits, but they are well cooked. This is how they came out, and I am quite happy with them. We'll do the fork test just now. Just listen for the sound. That's the loud knocking sound that you must get, that lets you know that your biscuits are cooked. And this is how my biscuits looked at the end. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to add any filling as yet. I quite like them as plain as they are. However, if you'd like, maybe you can add melted chocolate, you can coat them in icing, or whatever rocks your boat. You can freestyle anyhow you want with these. And we've come to the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.